guys, how's it going? Welcome back to Sam's Home Kitchen. My name's Sam Lin. I'm a home cook who's passionate about food, sustainability, and save money by making things at home. And hopefully, by following my YouTube journey, I can help you save some money in your own kitchen as well. This week, the recipe that we're making is another recipe of the 69. Finally got my hands on some spring onion. One of the local grocery shops is doing special on spring onion finally, and guess how much they're selling it for? Anyway, contemplating whether or not I'm going to turn it into a 69 series, so stay tuned if you're all in for that. Spring onion pancake, you might have had variations of it at Korean barbecue places, Chinese restaurants. It's crispy on the outside, it's flaky, some of it can even be chewy on the inside. It's packed with flavor, and crack a neck with it. It's a perfect breakfast if you're in for that. Drizzle with some soy sauce. It's just so good. It's really easy to make. The ingredients are super simple. It's dough, spring onion, and some seasoning, and then some technique to roll it up and turn it into some flaky deliciousness. And I'm going to teach you exactly how to do that. Don't buy those frozen ones from Asian supermarket. I'm going to show you how to make exactly that, if not better, in your own kitchen and save you some money too. Without further ado, let's get cooking. To make spring onion pancakes, we're going to divide our ingredients into two parts. We have the dough part and the spring onion, being the fillings that goes in between the layers. For the dough, we obviously need some plain flour, some water, and some salt, which is used in both the dough and the spring onion part. On the spring onion side, guess what we need? Some spring onion, some neutral tasting oil, some salt, and some white pepper. Black pepper also works just fine, so just use whatever you have available. To make the dough, as always, we'll be working with a scale. If you don't have one already, please get one. It'll change your life forever, I promise. Weigh out 400 grams of flour, and next we'll need 250 grams of water. Here, I'm pouring the water into a pot to heat up. By using hot water, we restrict some of the gluten formation in the dough so the pancake will be easier to work with and allow for higher hydration. If you have a kettle at home, just put a kettle on and it's good to go. I'm not doing this just to get some more B-roll. I genuinely don't have a kettle, but instead, I gain some more bench space. Once hot water is ready, gently add it into the flour and grab a spatula to start mixing. I will say it again, don't mix it with your hands just yet, unless you want to get some beautiful, beautiful second-degree burns. Once the dough is roughly combined and is cold enough to handle, get your hands in and work your dough in the bowl until it forms into a bowl. I find it easier to always work in a bowl to start with, so I have minimum mess to clean up on the bench. Transfer the dough onto the work surface to work it until it's smooth. This should only take about 3 to 5 minutes. Once the dough is nice and smooth, I grab my reused sandwich bag and pop the dough in to rest. Here, I made a bit of a mistake. The dough hydration is quite high and my dough ended up sticking to the bag a bit. So I would recommend rubbing some oil all over the dough to trap the moisture, but also prevent it from sticking. Put the dough aside and have it resting for at least 20 minutes. Next, we're moving on to our spring onion part. The bunch that I got already started to get old, as you can see. However, apart from the appearance and being slightly tougher, it's still perfectly edible and really makes no difference when it's cut up and hidden in the pancake for this instance. So for this recipe, I intentionally use all of the yellow bits so the wastage is minimum. Grab a bowl to catch all of the cut up spring onions, cut up the root of the spring onion. I normally leave a good centimeter of the white part with the root, which I will explain later. Put the roots aside and finally chop up your spring onion into about 2mm in width. Now, coming back to the roots, spring onion is one of those things that's pretty easy to grow at home. Chuck them in some water, put them in a sunny spot, give it a few days. You'll start to see some new shoots coming through, and soon, you'll have unlimited supply of spring onion at home. Once all of the spring onions are chopped up, add 25 grams of neutral tasting oil, add in 5 grams of salt, and just go to town with your pepper. Like, seriously. Once done, give it a mix and put it aside for now. By the time we finish seasoning our spring onion, the dough should be ready to go. Get the dough out of the bag and you can see what I meant that I stuffed up. But hey, don't be as stupid as Sam and learn from my mistake. Portion your dough into about 110 grams each. It should give you about 6 bowls in total. Next step, we're going to put everything together. Flour your bench generously. Grab a portion dough, sprinkle some flour on top. Grab a rolling pin. Yup, flour that too. And we want to roll out our dough quite thinly. The thinner you roll the dough out, the more layers for your pancakes. The dough does not need to be round at all, so have fun with it. Once the dough is thin enough, but not breaking when you lift it up, drizzle a layer of cooking oil and spread it out either with your fingers or grab the edges of the dough and fold it in a couple of times until it's evenly coated. Next, we want to sprinkle a good layer of our spring onion filling evenly. Grab the dough from one end and start rolling. You'll get a better result rolling the long side. Twist the dough into a braid and curl it up into an overnight. Press it down a bit so it forms into an actual pancake, and that's one done. Once all 6 are made, grab your rolling pin and flatten out the pancakes into about 1 cm thickness so it's easier to cook. These pancakes hold really well in the freezer, which is exactly what I'm going to do. Here's a sustainable cooking tip for you. If you do any forms of baking at home, I highly recommend you getting a reusable baking mat. It's about $3 on eBay, which costs just about the same as a roll of baking paper. It's reusable and saves you money instantly. I spread the pancakes out onto the mat and put them in the freezer for a couple of hours until firm to transfer it into the freezer bags. To cook the pancakes, heat up a sizable pan on medium heat, add oil to the pan, and in goes the pancake. Don't be too stingy with your oil, as that's what will help it cook evenly. Give it about 3 minutes or until the bottom is golden brown, and we'll flip the pancake over. Give the other side the same amount of time, add more oil if needed, and voila, that's our spring onion pancake. Listen to the crust and the crispiness. Once the pancakes are all firmed up, take them out of the freezer and I pack them up in the reusable freezer bag. Good thing about these pancakes is that they can be cooked frozen. Just heat up the pan and chuck your frozen pancakes on. It's perfect. I made a simple dipping sauce to go with it. Dash of soy sauce, vinegar, sesame oil, and some homemade chili oil, which I add basically to everything. Recipe in the description. Cost breakdown is as below. For the dough, 400 grams of plain flour at $1 a kilo equals to 40 cents. 250 grams of water, let's say it's free. 5 shoots of spring onion at 69 cents a bunch is about 20 cents. 75 grams of oil at 24 cents per 100 mils is about 18 cents. 20 crackers of pepper is about 1 cent. 5 grams of salt is about 1 cent. Altogether, it costs us about 80 cents to make 6 portions of spring onion pancake, which works out to be 13.333333333333 to make each pancake. Don't pay 10 times the price for the frozen ones that is half as good as homemade. Alright, and there we have it. My recipe on how to make spring onion pancake at home. It's super simple, really basic ingredients. Such an iconic street food back home. You can add an egg to it and that's classic breakfast. If you're into that, I certainly am. I'm going to dig in. Don't know if you can hear it. Super crispy, and then it's also just the layers how you create it with your dough. When you roll it up, it's so good. And just a kick of spring onion. I really do recommend you trying this at home, and let me know what you think. If you enjoyed the video, give it a like and maybe consider subscribe. I would really appreciate it. Thank you very much for watching, and I'll see you in the next video.